Okay, back from special meeting adjournment here. Okay, we have a special presentation about the sister cities. Uh, Anybody can come forward and discuss the sister city? Go ahead and state your name for the camera, being video.
Let's let Bill talk first, and then we can kind of move into that structure. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Oh,
My name is Bill Henkel. I'm president of the Northern California chapter of Sister City International. I'm president of the City of Lodi, California Sister City Committee, with about 38 years in that on that organization, and I've presently been about 4 years as president of NorCal SCI. So, Mr. Isaac, Moreno, is that correct? Yeah. Has invited me to come to speak about Sister City International. I did get a call from, I believe an email from Council Member Scott Robinson. Oh,
That's me.
pleased to meet you.
Same here.
I did refer you to the Sister City International organization, and I understand they've responded. And also, we have 2 state representatives in the Northern California chapter. Sister City International is the largest in the United States. We have 43 cities in California out of a total of 76 cities that have sister city partnerships worldwide. So we are pretty significant in the Sister City International arena, as Northern California is. And your city would fall within Northern California. Bakersfield is Southern California. That's the furthest in the north in the valley that would be covered with Southern California chapter of Sister City International. So just to give you a little bit of a sketch there, we have 26 board members on the NorCal Sister City International NorCal chapter, and we have approximately, total there's 500 cities in the United States have in excess of 2,000 partnerships with sister cities worldwide. I understand that you're interested in India, is that correct?
Punjabi, yeah.
Okay. There are 22 partnerships in India as far as Sister City International is concerned. We have sister city relationships that may not be a member of Sister City International. And let me point that out. There is a dues that to be met in order to be member, that in most cases the city, for example, the City of Lodi has a sister city committee in which we are standalone financially. We have a fundraising event in which we pay for any expenses associated with visitations. We have 2 cities, one from Kofu, Japan, and the other is Lodi, Italy. And so if, in my experiences, we have worked with the city when we have visitations by members of the Italian sister city or the Japanese sister city. So, and also right now, the city clerk's office is our really administrative support. So when we have meetings or announcements or events where we need administrative support, we get that from the city clerk's department. So again, I'm not real sure what you wanted me to present, Isaac.
Well, just kind of go over a overview of your interaction with the program, how it's helped build the two communities together, how you kind of establish them in some sense, or can make those communications and kind of the daily activities of what these organization kind of goes through.
Okay, first of all, let me just, and I'll use the city of Lodi as an example. I actually got into the sister city. I was the assistant to the city manager / personnel director, 17 years in the city of Lodi. Well, the city manager asked me to take over the responsibility for the sister city there, and it was actually, I went to work in 1971 for the city of Lodi, but the sister city committee was established in 1961. And the committee is a nonprofit voluntary city diplomacy organization established to promote relationships between the city of Lodi and one or more international communities. Again, the mission is to promote peace and by creatively working with citizens to participate in people-to-people, and that is the key mission for sister cities, is the people-to-people relationship and exchanges, and to build partnerships through cultural, educational, sports, youthful, municipal, business, i.e. economic, professional, and technical exchanges and projects. One quick example is the city of Sendai, Japan has been working with San Bernardino with solar power. And they have a sister city relationship in which they're doing that, which I think is really kind of interesting. There's some other economic interests that are beginning to emerge. I think what's really interesting is, and as I told Isaac, we have a sister city committee, which in turn is a nonprofit 501c3 organization, and the Sister City International staff, if you were to join the Sister City organization, has what they call cities seeking cities, and that would help you establish your relationship. And I think that's not a bad idea to do that. It's not easy, but through the Cities Seeking Cities program, Sister City International has helped dozens of cities start the partnership process from scratch, and assisted many others in the various stages of their research for finding a city, as well as the staff can work with your volunteers and city officials to start and finish, to include debriefing you on your needs, researching cities, helping you narrow your search, reaching out to foreign cities, assisting in the process, and crafting an agreement. And so I personally haven't had experience in that. Our cities were established when I got there. But let me say that I was involved with in 2011, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of our relationship with Kofu, Japan. We had the entire city council of both cities for a meet in the Hutchins Street Square, which is a community building, and we had a banquet dinner with them celebrating this event. And we also, that same evening, had a complete orchestra that come over from Japan and played in the auditorium performance. And it was really quite a wonderful event. I took, from a personal standpoint, I took my 16-year-old daughter and 10-year-old son for 6 weeks to Japan in 1978. And I stayed with 3 Japanese homestay students, families that stayed in our home. And I have to share with you, the result of that is my daughter ultimately graduated from college, went to Tokyo, got a job with AIG, and found a husband. So, all because of Sister City. So it's really touched my life. So I can't tell you how gratifying it is to work with in a sister city relationship, a people-to-people experience. And that can be through exchanges, it can be through art exchanges, it can be through student exchanges. Many times either the committees, I'll give you an example, Sister City Commission in City of Santa Clara has a wonderful student exchange that they run every year, in which they'll have like 50, 60 students from their Japanese sister city come over. So the experience that I have had in terms of working with a variety of people, especially on the NorCal board, who the city of Vallejo, the city of San Jose, and experiencing the differences that have taken place is truly rewarding. And so I think that what's important is that you have citizen involvement here with your sister city members, not only in for example, I'm very have been very involved with the Japanese American Citizens League, in which I got that organization involved with Sister City. And so we're currently in Lodi working to, between the Sister City Committee and the Japanese American Citizens League, to create a Japanese garden at the Lodi Lake City Park. And so another thing I've currently finished is the city of Lodi recently put in at Kofu, we have a park, Kofu Park, and the baseball field is dedicated to a Japanese American who was very supportive in Lodi of the Sister City Committee, Machi Yamashita, and the scoreboard there says that we help finance, says Yamashita Field, and I just now have completed all the plans to put in the logo for the Sister City Committee and the Japanese American Citizens League on the bottom of the scoreboard. And the scoreboard was funded through a grant for the city, and it's a real high-tech kind of scoreboard. So it's really neat. Now there's an example where the city, another example with the city of Lodi would be when we had this 50th anniversary. The city has a transit, a bus system, and it provided the buses to ferry the members of the Japanese delegation as well as our own to different places. Part of it was a tour of the city, part of it were events that we had throughout the city. And of course the city did essentially an in-kind contribution. And so I think that there has to be support from the city council, and we certainly have that. I took Mayor Alan Nakanishi, he is currently our mayor. In 2013, I took a group of 12, including Alan and his daughter, to Kofu. And we the Chamber of Commerce downtown has a life-size statue that was created by a local artist of harvesting the grapes. And I took a 90-pound miniature. It was probably 2 feet high, by way of Japan Airlines. I took it as luggage, made a deal with Japan, got a to ship it over there would have been too costly. Our committee paid $2,000 for the statue, and I got it on luggage through the travel agent who conned a deal with Japan Airlines, and I got it into Tokyo, and I decided I didn't want to take it on the train because it's hard to, get it up. Those trains, you better get in there and go because you can't be fooling around loading. So we got a bus, and we put it under the bus in the luggage compartment and got to Kofu, and it was just really thrilling to see the staff come out, and we told them what we had, and they were really excited, and they just take over right away. And we had quite a celebration in the City of Kofu mayor's office. City of Kofu is 400,000, much larger than us. It's on the north side of Mount Fuji. So, but it's the reason that city was chosen. It's the only place in Japan where you have grapes, wine. By the way, their wine is excellent. We're the Zinfandel capital of the world as far as wine goes, but theirs is pretty good. So that kind of gives you a feeling of, that was the connection that we had with Kofu. Italy was a little different. It's Lodi, Italy. It's near Milan, about 30 kilometers east of Milan. The Italians are interesting. A whole different culture, a whole different way of dealing with, interpersonal relationships in terms of the sister city events and so forth.
Could I
And
just break in and ask a question?
Sure.
If you have a group of citizens that are from the proposed sister city, what role do they play in that vis-a-vis the two city councils? I'm assuming you work with both city councils. Who do you work with?
Not so
to affect-
much. The interaction we have with the sister city council is mostly we actually work more with the staff. I'll give you a quick example. We'll have interpreters and liaisons, and so it would be the staff of those cities that we work with. And then when the council members come, then we work with interpreters, and the city council in Lodi will meet and greet and interact with the council members from the partnership city.
So you act as an intermediary
Yeah.
between the two cities?
Right.
But they both have to sign up for membership in Sister Cities International, is that correct? Both cities or just one?
Not the foreign city.
Not the foreign city, just the
You
US
don't
city.
have to sign up, but it's, you could do it on your own. You wouldn't have to be a member of Sister City International. It's just that there's a real advantage to joining. Our cost, based on our population, is $700 a year for membership in Sister City International. But now you're 25,000.
Yeah, I think our cost is around 600 annually.
Did you check that out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Mr. Hinkle, what is the benefit? What are the benefits of associating ourselves with Sister City International versus going it alone? The amount?
I think the biggest thing would be two things. Would be the resources that Sister City International has available for you in a variety of subject areas. And second is they have an annual conference. Sister City International has an annual conference every year, and it's I just attended one in Denver, Aurora, Colorado. But you get to interact with other people that have sister city organizations and compare notes, and there's a real benefit to that, as you know. Just like the League of California Cities is which I'm very aware of, to you, Sister City International would be to, not so much the city council, but I don't know, if you're gonna form a Sister City committee, I would certainly recommend that, a citizen committee. But, you know,
That's the kind of guidance we're looking to you for. Correct. You know, how cities do this. That
Right.
would be a valuable
and
resource.
SCI would certainly assist you in that. NorCal as such, Sister City International, doesn't get into that so much. We're more of our organization is a group of folks that have sister cities that compare with notes with each other in terms of what are you doing in your city and how do you address certain kinds of problems. We recently had that with San Francisco and Osaka, where there was a controversy, and so we were able in our board meeting to discuss this thing, and the Kathleen Kimura from San Francisco committee really was helped a lot by comments that were made by others in that group to how to address a pretty awkward situation. But I'm not suggesting that you have to join it or anything. You might, your question would be, well, who's going to help us, right? You may have to lean on your Isaac there, your staff. As a city council, have your city staff research that and see what they can do. Maybe they could do it without joining Sister City International.
Well, in the structure, in this sense, I wouldn't try to reinvent the wheel. I'd want to go with somebody such as an individual like this that has experience with dealing with communities that are on an international basis.
Right.
So it would be new to our city. So again, you don't want to restructure and go and do your own thing. For the fee structures that you have for the organization, they have the tools and the know-how to get these structures not just in place, but actually make them viable. So there's a couple points that he made today. One, getting community interaction. We currently have that already, which they'll speak to in a little bit. Next is getting the interaction from the international end, which I'll hand out a flyer to you in a couple minutes here to show that we have that. So we have a lot of tools, but what we need to gain from the international cities is really the know-how. And that's really what we're looking at right now.
Right.
So I appreciate you coming in and helping us assist that.
I think my vice president, Lee Gill, with the city of Union City, has had quite a bit of experience. I haven't myself, but he has in dealing with. They just signed up a city in Thailand. So Lee. Here again, there you are. So, I would give Lee a call and say, "Hey, Lee, what'd you do?" And I apologize. I personally haven't had that much.
I have one more question to ask
It's not
you.
difficult.
You mentioned earlier in my notes here, in your operation, Sister City, there's a 501c3.
501c3. Mm-hmm.
And what if the organizations that we deal with have a 501c? How does that work? And the 501c3 in your organization, how does that work with you guys? You have quite a few that are.
Really what that structure allows them
Yeah.
to do is fundraise and things of that nature,
Yeah.
so they can take on that.
Cause you mentioned fundraisers in the 501c3, Yeah.
The whole advantage for a 501c3 is that you are it's a tax exempt write-off in terms of contributions and fundraising as for the organization. That's really the main purpose for the 501c3. So for example, I could donate $500 to the Sister City Committee, and then I can write it off on my own taxes.
Yeah.
So and actually I was instrumental in getting 501c3 status for the NorCal Sister City, Northern California Chapter, Sister City International Board. It- I had the help of an attorney, but we did that so people on the board and off the board, if they want to make a donation, then, as you know, they assign you a number and everything, and then, of course, they can write it off. So there's, most of the committees are 501c3s.
So if the city of Selma goes through this pilot program, first time with this city in India, and there are other sister cities that might be eligible of other cultures, are you saying that the Sister City International would have, from what I understand, a lot of resources
Yes.
of different nationalities that could help? You're kind of like a database or resource guide.
Right, that's correct.
And we could tap
Right.
on those
Yeah.
resources. to
Absolutely.
find
There is a
information
portion
about
of
the
it that
other
actually helps you
countries.
find a city for individuals who don't have that structure already kind of in place or not having those communications, that you can reach out to them and they'll pull into their database or their list of cities within the regions that you're currently looking for and things of that nature to assist.
Have you called any of the other cities, spoken with them, Bakersfield
I
or Modesto?
just spoke to Bakersfield actually today. So they're open to communication and how they structured the individual I spoke to. The structures were already in place, but they kind of talked about the interaction. A lot of it sometimes comes down to student exchange and things of that nature. So you can actually build this not just as an economical and a governmental standpoint where we have an open dialogue and communication, but you can build it into your unified as well and make and could just grow that organization a little bit more.
'Cause
So
you could use the governmental entity as a launching pad to get
correct,
into the
to make a
social,
catalyst to move into a little bit more.
economic, the other
So there's some different
facets.
opportunities here to grow this organization. And there's multiple cities out there that have multiple cities. It's very common to have different regions and things of that nature. So you can just take it one step further and how far do you want to go. Creating a citizen community or structure as far as a board to help interact and things of that nature would be beneficial. So right now we're just kind of visiting the situation. How does it look like? How does it interact? What do other cities do? How do we make it work for us? And that's currently, we're in the fact-finding position right now to make that decision. At one point, we'll come to you with an actual direction to move forward if this is how we want to see fit. But right now, we're really kind of getting a glimpse of what that looks
Right,
like and
yeah.
how cities do these things and how beneficial they are.
I can give you an example, Isaac. City of Stockton, okay, they have like 7 cities, sister cities, and each like the Japanese, the German, the each has their own committee. Okay, well, there's pros and cons to that, but now in our case, we have 1 committee in 2 cities, but I know that many of the other cities have the same. City of San Jose, for example, does what Stockton's doing. They'll have a committee for Japan and a committee for Thailand and so forth. So it just depends on how you internally how you want to work that. You know, they both work. It's just that, you know. Interestingly, the city of San Francisco has a sister city relationship with Ho Chi Minh City. They have a full-time director for just that sister city relationship, which is really pretty interesting. But I want to share with you that every year, for example, I go to the Council General of Japan as a emperor's birthday reception in San Francisco, and there's probably maybe 120 of us there, and I'd say 90% of the folks that go there from all different backgrounds have some connection with Sister City, because the whole motif is people to people and world peace. That's the whole motif behind the Sister City movement. It was started in 1954 by President Eisenhower, so it has that history to hopefully achieve world peace by getting people to get to know each other and find out hey, there's not much difference, you know.
Yeah.
That's what's so neat about the whole thing, yeah. And
Most of the cities that you have mentioned are larger metropolitan cities.
Yeah.
Does it happen on with smaller cities? that
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys-
Hollister had a Japanese sister city, and a lady there used to come to our, she was on our board for a number of years. Yeah, and what's Hollister? 5,000, 4,000, something like that?
Well, when it has the bike run, it's about 100,000, but otherwise.
And the sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Mike was there.
But I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, she was very active, you know. And it's a real mix as far as what various city councils do, and there's a real emphasis in our organization to get the councils involved. And I've got 3 of my council members are very, very supportive. Not that the other 2 aren't, but they're very, very active, not active, very supportive in anything to do with Sister City.
Hear from them, guys.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, I want to thank you, Mr. Hinkle,
Oh,
for
you're
coming out
welcome.
and giving us the
Yeah.
information.
Sure.
It was really helpful to allow us
Thank
to hear what other cities do and how it's working and how it is benefit not just to the city or to the cities, but also the community
Right.
and what it actually brings to our government, our community.
I do want to say that Star Hurley, who I think you
Mhm.
talked to, she's my state representative. We'd be more than happy to come down again, she and I, to, again, help you and/or the council outline, and maybe not so much in a council meeting, you know, your concerns and to help you.
Great.
And she has been very active in the city of Sacramento. Star is quite a star. She's, yeah, you'll really like her, I'm sure.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
Mr.
Thank you.
Councilman Robertson, thank you. I'm glad
Thank
we
you.
got together.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have Mr. Gill.
Thank you for setting a date and time for this dialogue. The Indian Sikh community of Selma would like to thank Mayor Jim Avalos, Mayor Pro Tem Scott Robertson, and all of Selma City Council members. Start a dialogue and to initiate the creation of Sister City program between Selma, a city in Punjab, India. As you can see, our committee members are we're all very excited, as this would create an opportunity between the 2 cities in both economic and cultural values and understanding. This would also allow to develop municipal partnerships and to create an atmosphere in which economic and community developments can be achieved and strengthened. On behalf of all of our Sikh community members present at this meeting today, we're all very eager and available to help this sister city, this city council in any way we can to make this program a success. As stated in the letter from the Office of Municipal Council, Namaskar, they're also eager to move forward with this process. Namaskar is a city in the district of Shaheed Bhagat Singh Nagar, a known great freedom fighter of India. And it gives us, the community members, Sikh community members, a great pleasure to honor his name this way. And also with the size and population of that city, with the agricultural background of both cities, our community feels that this designation of Sister City would be a great, perfect fit. So with that said, we are optimistic that the council would move forward in recognizing and moving forward with this Sister City program. We want to thank you very, very much again.
Thank you. Anybody else want to speak?
All of us, you can stand up, all the in community supporting to make that Namashar.
Oh, go ahead and speak in the microphone.
I go,
Go ahead. The people can hear you.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. We can all stand up. All the Sikh community came in just to thank you. If you pick Namashar as a sister city, we can stand up. Everybody that everybody support that Namashar.
You know, one thing, one thing we thank you is, the city council, to come forward to the council and, present this to us, Sister Cities, as the mayor and our council here, I think, it's a great opportunity, and we have to explore it and everything, and it's up to our council, members here, if they want to move forward on this. I'm excited. I'm
Thank
very
you.
excited,
Thank you. And we are ready to help any way we can help. Whatever we
you know-
need to do.
Every year you do a great job with the Sikh parade. You bring more people and more to know not only our communities but other communities around us. And like the gentleman said earlier, and to know each other on this world, on this planet, and it is an opportunity in opening doors for every nationality in the world, no matter who we are. And that's all I got to say right now. Anybody else?
So are we to understand that the
Yep.
Sikh governing board, or the Sikh council, is endorsing Namashar as the
Yeah.
sister city for Selma?
Yeah, there
Okay.
is a letter.
And there's a letter
All
from
the committee members
Namashar
signed
council.
that, and
Yeah, that's
all
true.
the committee members and the Sikh community are here for that.
If I also understand, that's a pretty comparably sized community that would be reflective of Selma's population and rural background, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so pretty good fit. Sounds like a
Yeah.
really good
Yeah.
fit as a sister city.
What kind of activities, Mr. Nagra, do sister cities engage in, for example?
We all new to this system. We're gonna learn as we go.
So do you envision, say, for instance, people from here traveling to India, learning the
Or vice
culture,
versa, yeah.
student exchanges, things of that nature?
Yeah, anytime, you need to go or anybody need to go, we can help, maybe one of us or two of us can go with you guys, if you need help to go over there to meet with the city council, any arrangement that you need to do, we all support you guys. We like to see that,
and also, I believe the acting city manager did a great job by inviting this gentleman who has, Bill Hinkle, we want to thank him as well. So it shed a pretty, good light on what the program, we're all new to this program as well, but we're excited, we
You
searched
might wanna
on
get his
Google.
name and number on the way out, just so you
I-
guys have his contact information as well.
That sounds great.
Anybody else? Go ahead, speak. Go ahead. State your name and.
My name is Paul Sahota, so thank you guys for taking this issue up. I have a little bit of background of Mayor Harvey Hall a few years back from Bakersfield. Through his Punjabi friend circle, went to Amritsar. Amritsar is where the Golden Temple is. And at that time, Bakersfield decided to make Amritsar as the sister city. So with some cultural exchanges, like the mayor came and visited Bakersfield, and then I've lost touch with them because Harvey's not there anymore in power, but there's still some activities that the both cities do together. Lately, I haven't stayed in touch with them, but for us as Selma and people sitting here with me, we're with the City of Selma. This is where I went to high school here, so we don't want to be in sister cities with somebody that you know, would be an equivalent of a San Francisco or Los Angeles of California. We want a rural community, agriculture, hardworking people. So with all the committee members of the Selma area, Sikh temples, we decided on Namaskar. It's an agricultural area, and it's named after one of the freedom fighters for the getting freedom from England, the country of India. So as far as what other activities and staff, you know, time, how much it takes or what all happens, we're new to it ourselves, but I can tell you, this is something as Punjabis, as Indians, we want to see our city do this for all the citizens of Selma and as well as our community. And we're all, the city of Selma, we're all the same people.
And Mr.
So those people in Punjab are proud that they have connections in California and with the city of Selma. So that being said, thank you.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So if we're to understand, they're also in favor in Namaskar. They
Correct.
are aware that we are attempting to do this, and they are in favor.
Mr. Nagra.
The second page is the
The
letter.
second
Mr.
page.
Mr. Nagra did most of the legwork on that.
Thank you.
And he's been in touch with their staff. And so, no, we're looking forward to moving forward. And obviously, it's a learning experience for both you guys. But when it comes to picking the city, it was unanimous by everybody here that we agreed with Namaskar.
That's great.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, Isaac, would we want to develop an ad hoc committee from the council to work with you and with their committee?
That is possible if that's the will of the council to actually put together some type of committee.
I don't know if we need an ad hoc committee right now, just because we're all kind of on the same page on this and we're at the initial stage. Maybe we
At
could
this point in time,
further
my
along.
suggestion would be allow me to do more research, reach out to Star. I've already been speaking to her.
later.
Because we are going to need an action item at one point or another to actually move forward with this process, and also an action item to deem which city we want to choose. So there's some steps in which we still got to fill out and get to relinquish all this information that we need and figure out how that body's going to work. So allow me to continue to do my research, and then we can bring it back as an action item so we can move forward. And whether that's bringing Star into as well to kind of give some more information on what that looks like, but we're still a little premature in the stages. Again, just really want to get our heads around what this is going to mean. And the next steps are, how are we going to interact? How are we going to create a committee? Are we not going to create a committee? Is the committee going to be this body? I mean, what does that look like? And those are really what we need to fill out at this point in time.
'Cause it seemed like Bill Hinkle said the committee wasn't necessarily the council.
Correct.
It was citizens.
There's really
Right.
citizens,
Opposed to
and
the sister city.
it was
and
more
community
staff,
members
and I mean,
staff.
staff, maybe one council member or two, some community involvement, part of that committee as well. Again, your steps here are really to bring in the community and make this an international organization to kind of look at views. You kind of all have your same issues and problems, but you all address them in a different way. So bringing those ideas and those community events and together really helped us. It's the whole basis of this, and getting a better understanding of our community as other communities as well.
If I'm
As
hearing
Mr.
council
Hinkle
correctly,
had mentioned,
we would
sorry.
move forward.
Yeah.
If I'm hearing council correctly, you're gonna move forward and just keep us updated on what you explore with sister cities and with the sister city of Namaskar, is that
Correct.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
As I wanted to say, Mr. Henkel said, with the citizen support, you know, we just want to say that again. We're all here as a City of Selma residents or the surrounding areas. We're available anytime, that whatever we can do to make this happen, that would be a great honor. And so for us,
As Councilman
Thank you.
Durr
Yeah.
said, thank you for doing the work
Yes.
of finding
Yeah.
a really suitable sister city.
yeah, thank you. And in the last, we want to thank the Selma Police Department for honoring the people here swearing in. Thank you. Great job. And we pray, and so they do a safe sound. They do a good job for us. Thank you again.
Thank you. Anybody else come forward on this item? No? Okay. Referred back to council.
Take it to the next step.
That was just informational.
Yeah, it's just information.
Information,
There's no
okay.
action at this time.
No action taken on this one. Okay. All right, we'll move on to the next item. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, all right, this is the oral communication. This is noticed at any time a member of the public can address the city council regarding any item in the city council jurisdiction. No action will be discussed or taken on the agenda, and the issue to be raised will be referred to the city manager for review. A member of the public, of course, has a limit of 3 minutes. You can state your name and go, your address.
3 minutes. I'm Jeff Shepard, attorney here in Selma. I'm here to just remind the members that are leaving and the council and the staff that the band festival's coming up October 27th. I had this on my calendar to come and ask that the fees be waived, but it's my understanding staff hasn't figured out what the fees are yet, so you guys can't take action on it. I just wanted to encourage you to do that sooner rather than later because it's about 3.5 weeks away. And so we're moving forward with our plans. As far as I know, it's the oldest continuous community event that's going on here in Selma, at least since anybody in this room's been around. This is our 54th year. And we hope to continue. So thank you for your support.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, anybody else? Okay. State your name and address the issue.
Shar Tucker, 2411 Country Club Lane. I'm just here this evening to give a shout out and a thank you to Councilman Franco for attending our cancer walk on Saturday. We thank you for your donation and your help out there. It was greatly appreciated, and it's on behalf of our foundation and our cancer survivors. It is important to see our city involved, so thank you again. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Shar. Anybody else come forward and state your name and address, please?
Name and address? It's 1470 Northview, Selma, California. My name is Joseph Castillo. I'm addressing the council today because it became aware to me that Johnny Trujillo was running for whatever it is he's running for city council.
You have been for city council.
And what happened was, I have no idea who this guy is, but where I work with my uncle's property, I'm the manager there for Golden State Mechanical. And he was working next door with him and a few other people. Not necessarily him, it was him and a bunch of guys that were working. They dropped a tree on our fence. So, just normal guys, we go there and say, hey, you know, you're gonna take care of the fence or whatever. Just kind of man-to-man thing, you know, hopefully that he take care of it. And he just went off, you know, just went off on me, on both of us actually. And I'm here today because I seen on his sign where he said he has integrity and honesty and all this other kind of stuff, and I think it's a bunch of BS, to be honest with you. And he never paid his bill. He told us basically to just get out of here. No trespassing and all this kind of stuff. And when we turned it into the insurance company, he got rude and outrageous with them. And he still hasn't paid us. Still hasn't paid his debt. And I just want to make it aware to everybody that if he's doing this to the average Joe citizen, I couldn't imagine what he's going to do when he's up there. And I just can't, you know, allow that to happen. He's just a person that just is a bad person. You just don't do that kind of stuff, especially if you're running for an elected official. And I just think he's very rude. He was rude to my wife on the phone. He has no respect for women whatsoever. And I just think that I really wish he was here today because I was really looking forward to confronting him on this issue. At least to pay his bill and be an upstanding person like he says he is in his poster. So I spot what I have to say today.
Thank you. Forums tomorrow night. Forums tomorrow night of the candidates.
Yeah.
City council candidates right here, 6 o'clock.
I'll be here.
And so the school board and healthcare district.
And thank
as well.
you.
Thank you.
School board,
Thank
city
you.
council, and
Thank you, Joe. Okay, anybody else? Okay, state your name and address, please. Correct name and address.
My name is Angel Revelo,
Oh,
23.
yeah. You're back, Angel.
Hello, Mr.
Okay.
Mayor. Angel Revelo, 2376 Sierra View Street. First of all, I do like 501c3 community benefit organizations. I think they are helpful. I'm not too familiar with the one that we're talking about today, but I do like them, and I think they are good for the community. Additionally, I think getting some police men who are the soldiers of our community is a good thing, and I hope that they could stay here and protect us for the right reasons. But I'd like to recognize Mr. Henry Perea. Unfortunately, he's not here, but I was able to shake his hand, and I told him I was going to do a little speech about him because of the work that he helped us with. So if I'd just like to read it. Well, I forgot to say hello, citizens, council, and Mr. Mayor Avalos. That was probably sure the first thing I should have said. But,
That's okay, it's all right.
I'd like to be politically correct here, you know. Today, the City of Selma awarded a certificate of recognition to Henry R. Perea for his work as our interim city manager. There is no doubt that Mr. Perea has paid his dues throughout the Central Valley to get where he is today. Not only is he a good Samaritan, but a good role model that the people of the Central Valley can follow. Now, some people may not agree with everything he has done, but it is safe to say, based on his professional record, that he cares about our community and he will argue for what's in the interest of the working folks. I would like to take a brief moment and share with you not the political Mr. Perea, but Henry. Published exactly 2 years ago to this very day, a FresnoBee.com article was published about him. It gave us a little insight of his values as a young man. As I was reading it, and I encourage everyone to read it, so many virtuous instances of his life are worth mentioning, but I would like to just highlight a simple one involving who would become later a Fresno City Councilman, Brad Castillo. And I quote, "Just graduating high school, Castillo had decided to accept a soccer scholarship to the University of San Francisco, but his dad told him he couldn't go because he had to work with his family. The fight escalated. Mr. Castillo was kicked out of his house. He got to his car only to realize he had no plan and didn't even know how to get to San Francisco. So he went to Perea's house. Perea and Maria ended up driving Castillo to San Francisco in their own car, a 1966 Volkswagen Beetle, because Castillo never would have made it." Castillo goes on to say, and I quote, "I've known him pretty much my entire life." He's referring to Mr. Perea. "And I'm still friends with him, so that says something about him," Castillo says. End of quote. This small instance of Henry's character goes to show the kind of principles I believe he stands for, and I'll leave us thinking about this. If Henry's values are this strong, imagine how much good can be derived in respect to our educational system if Annalisa Perea is elected the next State Senator, Community College District, Trustee Area 5. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, anybody else can come forward and state your name? Thank you, Angel. Thank you. No, you have another one?
Yeah.
Council?
It's less than probably 1 minute, minute and a half at the top. It's a recognition actually of our Mayor Pro Tem.
Well,
If not, that's
come,
cool.
wait a minute, that's okay, Angel, hang on.
Come forward.
Come
Speak.
forward,
All right,
speak,
hold on.
Mayor, this is America, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, Council, 2376 Angel Rail, Sierra View Street. Council, Mr. Mayor Avalos. I'd like to publicly thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Temp Scott Robinson, and his wife, Miss Robinson, for reaching out to me and speaking with me over the week about the Neighborhood Watch. I appreciate that. Really am thankful. Thank you. I am in the process of surveying the entire neighborhood, but from what I have surveyed so far, it seems that the neighborhood is leaning toward yes. When I get a full tally, I will let you or the council know so we can see where it goes. Aside from this, I'd like to end this with a quote from a philosopher that came. This came from a spiritual medium. Now, some of us may or may not believe in metaphysics, but I think it's worth mentioning, especially in the societal climate that we have today across the nation. Maybe we can take something from it. Let's see if I can regurgitate it. I have it written down, but I'd rather regurgitate it, because if something rings true to me, then I usually remember it. Let go of your need to possess everything. It will never make you happy. The only thing you need to possess is your own truth, and you should never fear the world around you. To fear is to feel emotions that cannot possibly bring you growth. Of course, you'll learn a lesson, but you won't get the spiritual growth until you find love. The path in 3D is to find love. This is your mission on earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Angel.
Angel, thank you for that, but the lady who was sitting right there, she's gone, but that was Rosemary Alanis, the one that you talked to.
Really?
So maybe you can come to the next meeting, hopefully she'll be here, and maybe you two can talk at that meeting about furthering your neighborhood watch.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I'll let her know that you were here too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Come forward. All righty. Move on to the next item. Oh, one more. I'm sorry. I apologize. State your name, correct address, please, for the record.
Rita Becerra, 3527 Hill Street, Selma. I'm just speaking as a private person, private citizen, not for any church or whatever, but I really want to say what the city's participation in March for Jesus was awesome. I saw Mr. Bob Allen, I saw Jim Avalos, and I'm sure there was other people, and it was just a very uplifting experience to see the whole community working together for one goal, and that was to unite Selma and make Selma a better place. So I want to thank all of you that participated and allowed it to happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, anybody else come forward? All right. Okay, I'll move on to the next item. Okay, consent calendar. All items under the consent calendar are routine, and all complete consent calendar are exact by one motion, and all persons will be discussed where the council member may remove any consent calendar and make a part of the regular agenda. Okay, guys, anything you want to remove on the consent calendar?
I'd like to remove item J, please.
Item
J.
J? Okay. Anything else? Council?
Move for approach,
Oh.
people on item A through,
Actually, okay. Roll call, please, right now. Mike?
Second.
Oh,
Councilmember Dirk.
aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Robertson.
Aye.
Councilmember Franco.
Aye.
Councilmember Montiel.
Aye.
Mayor Avalos.
aye. Item J?
Okay, so page 34, 71440 is the check number. Croker, Brentlinger restroom demo. Mike, what's gonna happen with Brentlinger? Is that gone away, or is there gonna be another one, or what's going on there with the restroom situation?
That was the really old restrooms that, I've been here 23 years and it wasn't a restroom when I started here. It was a storage unit for youth football, but they just kept breaking into it. And so youth football moved into a different location. So that was just never been used in
Okay, so it's just taken out, it's not
Yeah,
gonna be
and we had the newer
replaced.
restrooms about 8 years ago.
What?
And
I-
then, page,
I could probably elaborate on that restroom.
please.
Yeah, back in the days when I was a young person, real small, there was Mike, it was a restroom way back then in the days. I was probably about very young. I won't say the age, but very small. There was and they had back then they had the fair. They had a community fair event in that park, Berlinger Park, and as time went on, you know, like anything else, restrooms get old, and the city decided to board it up and close it up, and then that's what they did way back then. And but now we have the new restrooms on the other side by the ballpark, and so we have moved forward in the time frame. Let you know, and it was time to come down in that particular building anyhow.
Thank you.
You know.
Page 35, RNN system design, new PD station agreement, what is that? Check 5-3.
It was an organization we had to hire to put together some of the work and the specs for the bid on the
The bid.
police station.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then, speaking of, we'll be discussing the police station at the next meeting with Chuck Rojas,
We'll be giving you an
Hopefully he'll be
update,
coming back and-
hopefully at the next meeting, correct?
giving us an update. And then,
We
Chuck-
did have a meeting today, but I mean, it's a little premature to talk
thank
about
you
that
for
at this
staying
moment.
on top of that and making progress and keeping us posted. Last one, 71469, Swanson Farney Ford. It just says new Ford Explorer parts. Which department got the new Ford Explorer?
That's for purchase of a new PD vehicle.
It's a PD vehicle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
34,000.
Is that Measure S or is that a grant?
No, it's actually remaining fund balance left for unexpenditures used for the last fiscal.
From 17-18,
Mhm.
not 18-19.
It actually took us a couple months for the order to come in, so why you're barely seeing it now.
That's why it's hitting now, because it just came in.
Correct.
Okay, with that, I'd thank you for that. I'd make a motion to approve item
Before you do that,
J, unless someone else has a question.
one more.
Oh.
71474, the street sweeper,
Mm-hmm.
how many years are we paying on this?
I want to say, if I remember correctly, it was about 3 to 5 years. I don't remember off the top of my head.
3 or 5 years.
We do
Five.
receive funds for this to offset this payment through our tax roll initiative as far as the garbage collection, though, to pay for the strokes.
Oh, okay, so we're not buying this.
We are paying for it. It is one that we currently have. It's just we're paying the lease payment. Correct.
Okay, we're paying the money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, that's it for me.
I'll make the motion then, to approve item J.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion made. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Robertson.
Aye.
Councilmember Jarrett.
Aye.
Councilmember Franco.
Aye.
Councilmember Montiel.
Aye.
Mayor Evelyn.
Aye. Okay, next item, public hearing, they're not scheduled for a public hearing. Regular business, okay, update on the project of the fire station, Isaac?
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, and council member, at this time, we'd like to bring up Chief. He's going to give a brief overview of where we're at with the fire station remodel and kind of get you up to speed and
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Back in January and February of this year, you took action to approve a project to remodel our firehouse at A Street and Floral. So we wanted to take a moment to update you on that project. I think you're getting a small packet there that will match the slides that are coming up here. The first slide here is just our schedule. And to update you where we're at this point, just under construction documents, 100%. We're at the preliminary cost estimate. So the design phase is just about done. They have submitted the documents for a preliminary cost estimate. Once we get that, we'll have a better picture of where we're at as we move forward. The second photo that you have with you will just give you a idea of what the station will look like from the outside, from the front. So probably the best picture is the second from the top there. That'll be the front looking at it from A Street. And you can see that the footprint has changed quite a bit if you're familiar with the station. The whole part that's coming off to the right there will be a new area. Right now, we have the bay, and right about the middle there, it extends to the back. That will still be there. That area is changing, and the new area is what's coming off to the right there. The third page that you'll see kind of will give you a better idea. It's the floor plan, and I can talk to you a little bit about some of the design principles that went into this. And so you'll see we tried to accomplish three things. One, to just simply modernize the building. It was built in the 1950s. So I spent 18 years in there. Most of the walls are cinder block, so I can tell you there's not a whole lot of insulation and stuff that that went into that. You can see the second part that we wanted to do was to create more room, allow us to expand as a department. Right now we have 3 bedrooms and a captain's bedroom, so we can house 4. With this one, there'll be 6 bedrooms and a captain's bedroom. What that will end up doing as the city expands, so will the department. The department will need to expand as well as we continue to build homes, continue to expand our residency. The fire department will need to expand at some point too. This will allow us to do that. It'll allow us to house an additional engine company, which is typically 2 to 3 people.
Do we have space for an additional engine?
Yes. So in the future, that will allow us to do that. Now, the other thing, and one of the most important parts of some of the design into this was one of the big things now in the fire service, and has been for a number of years, is trying to prevent cancer. The things that we're exposed to during fires and stuff has been, it's long been known to cause cancer. But what they're learning now and have learned over the years is even when we come back from a fire, this stuff is still on us. It's on our turnouts. And they call it off-gassing. So as we come back into quarters, we're still putting that stuff out. We're still exposing ourselves to that. As it sits now, we back into our engine room there on the left, and our day room's right off to the side there. And this is the new drawing, so it's a little bit different. But when we come in right now, we're exposing ourselves to that. Same in where you see the turnout room there, the SCBA room. Right now, that's our sleeping quarters. So we sit right off of that. We have no place to put our dirty turnouts, any of that, except for in that engine room. The new drawing here, the concepts that we're implementing, they call it hot and cold. Hot zones, cold zones, or more simply, dirty and clean. So when we come back from a fire with this new design, is that we'll be able to pull in from the back initially, clean the engine. We'll enter through the back to the cleanup room there, which will have showers and things that we can clean ourselves up. We can take our turnouts into that second room, and right there where Rain is pointing to, just below that, and there will be an extractor in there that we can take our dirty stuff off and immediately put into a wash. We'll then go into the third room where it says turnouts. That's where our clean turnouts will be. We can replace our dirty with our clean and then walk into the engine room. So the engine room is now a clean area. The area at the top there will be our dirty zone or our hot zone. We'll make sure that we're cleaned off, and we'll enter into the engine room area and then move into the day room. So we're separating dirty areas from clean areas in an attempt to minimize our exposure and our risk to cancer or the things that cause it. Really, that is the main concepts behind our design here: modernization, expansion, and then creating these different hot and cold zones. So as far as design and where we're at right now, that's how it looks. I can answer any questions if you have any.
Yeah, okay, when you said that particular area where you want, it's called the cleanup area, when you walk into that, I call it decontamination on your, now, is there design, when you walk into that room, will be a filter system that, not, when I say filter system, that particular air conditioning unit won't be traveling to the other rooms?
No, it'll be designed to be separate and
Separated,
exhaust
right?
out to the outside, yes.
Okay, all right. I call it decontamination.
Decontaminant, right? That's the old hazmat terms.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is any of the existing buildings staying up?
Yes. Much of the turnout area, the SCBA area, is all still existing. Many of that area right now is our sleeping area. All they're doing in the remodel is changing that into a dirty area where the turnouts are gonna be the SCBA room, the cleanup, all of that is existing and will stay existing. It'll just be moved to the expansion area, will then be our sleeping area.
How long do these things, these carcinogens actually stay alive? Are they still in the building right now, and does the building need to be decontaminated as a whole, or are they inert by now?
I don't know that they have come to that conclusion yet. Most of this has just come, in recent years through studies and things like that.
911, didn't all those people get, a lot of the first responders
A
got cancer
a
from
lot of that,
asbestos?
yeah, a lot of that was from the exposure to the particles and stuff after the collapses and everything. Yes, there were.
How will you maintain the integrity of people actually coming in here and going through that room first, before, the clean room, before they go into the next room?
Through policy. We have it now since we began to learn about this stuff several years ago. We created a policy that said when we come back from a fire, when I first started, we come back from a fire and go inside and get something to eat and still have all, our bottoms on and everything else. We created a policy that said that you no longer, if you come back from a fire, you take all of your stuff off first. There are some that say that's still not good enough until you take a shower. There are some studies that say that when we come back, even though we've been out sweating, we should jump on the treadmill and sweat some more of a clean sweat. So there are different ideas
theories
that they're
at this
looking into this, yeah.
Either that walk back kind.
Yeah.
No, but at least, it's good that you're taking precautions, 'cause I know when I see the fires in the mountains and they lay that, powder stuff on the forest, I know that it's toxic and it's dangerous for the public. That's why it puts out fires.
Yeah, you have
Yeah,
to wonder,
no,
a lot of
no.
that stuff that they're using now, they may not know till years down the
Yeah.
road.
And they've been using it for a while, so I understand the safety and the decontamination part for your safety for the future of your fire department. I totally get that part. It just gotta following the policies of the fire department for their safety,
Sure.
And
So
you-
if all goes according to Hoyle, it'll be done by 2020?
Yes.
Okay.
Looks like March of 2020.
First quarter of 2020, I see the finish line
Yeah.
there. And then so the design and the project manager, how's the project manager been so far? Have you had any interaction with the project manager?
The design group,
decision?
with them, we've had a lot of interaction and they've been really good. The project manager, I'm just starting to interact with a little bit more. He's starting to get more involved because we're moving into that phase.
Interacting with them?
We've had some testing that we've been involved with, and he's been good about calling and explaining what's going on and making some arrangements.
It's Precision Engineering who's the contract manager for this project. We have been in touch with them. They're in a daily communication when the project comes up. We're currently in the early phases, so their part's not going to wrap up as much at this point. I mean, this is a redesign, so it's really our remodel. So it's a little bit different from what you're used to as far as the construction portion, where they have a constant daily interaction with the group itself. But they are communicating and keeping an open line of communication to
Have
make
they
sure
given
who's
you
doing
any-
what.
Have they given you any indication of how they will go about the bidding process? Are they going to assign pre-qualification? Are we just not there yet?
Not yet. I mean, we're in the really the evaluating what the cost of this project is. So originally you were giving some preliminary numbers. The next step is really getting into completing the documents so we can have a value engineering done on the project, which is our next step. So next council will bring to the agreement to execute so we can get that portion done. After that's completed, we'll have another conversation. And again, just keeping you all aware of where we're at, keeping us on track so that you know throughout this phase of what's going on, what's the cost estimated at this point, when are we going to bond. So really it's just opening that dialogue today is so you where we're at today and how we're moving forward.
I would assume that there'll be no project labor agreement entertained on this job. before you get
That's council's decision at that time when we come close to that decision.
bid. And in terms of the public involvement, are we gonna have a rollout for the public to actually see this? So, the public, I know we have council meetings that are public, but maybe a separate agenda item rolling this out to the public so they
Take
can
us-
see what in effect
yeah.
they're paying for with their sales tax.
Sure.
through
We,
Measure S.
we do have several large prints that are located over at our admin office. If anybody wanted to come by and take a look at the footprint and what it's gonna look like.
That'd just be nice. We could either, put on the website or have a night at city council when people could come and see what their new fire station remodel is gonna look like. 'Cause it looks really good so far.
Sure.
And it's
Yeah.
long overdue. So I think the public will really get behind it, and especially so if they're kept informed on it and made part of the process. I think that's really, really important.
I think between you and I, Scott, I think the public wants to see the police station and the fire station move forward. And I think it's time the public to see where their money's going to, and they wanna see exactly how it's being used, they want the public safety totally, fire and police you guys are a team of the community,
Absolutely.
You're well needed, big time, cause, it's a necessity in our community, every community, as it grows. Yeah, yeah, you're right. As time goes on, the public should be aware of what is the major process in the drawing, how it's gonna come out, what is the final stage on it, and how it's kept in the loop. The people want it kept in the loop. They wanna know what's going on, totally.
Sure, definitely.
Fire and police, they wanna know exactly what's going on.
Absolutely. I understand 100%.
Yeah.
Happy to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for the update. Okay, we'll go, next item, we'll go to the department reports. Anything, Isaac? Well, you got two hats here, right? You're gonna have the economic development and financing and city man, you got three, okay?
Well, thank you. Mayor, council, just some of the things I want to report on. We did already have our initial pre-workshop with COG as well as Caltrans to discuss the Floral Avenue study. So that's hadn't been developed, talking about who's paying for what they are, saying that they'll assist with this study. Right now, we're trying to see what that gets us. So COG has announced they'll put in 10,000. Caltrans as well is willing to put in some money. The city is looking to put in some money to curate this study and what it looks like. Right now, what we're discussing is what do we get for those dollars? What are we looking to accomplish here? So we're having those preliminary discussions. So that's currently in the works right now. One thing that did come out of that meeting as well, as I was able to speak to Caltrans regarding our Highland Floral Avenue exchange right there and what that looks like and some of the issues that we've been having at that intersection, whether it be signage or the lights and things of that nature. So I did have a preliminary conversation at that point in time. So I'll report back to you when they get some more information. They're going to look into the intersection itself and see what numbers they can pull off of it. One thing I will like to say is I know there's been some concerns at that intersection, but if you're not reporting it to PD and things of that nature, the intersections are the issues that are currently having. Caltrans goes off numbers. They go off data. They're not going to go off hearsay. They're going to pull the reports. They're going to pull accident reports. So there are issues at that intersection for the public to understand. Please report those because those numbers do make a difference. Okay.
On that note, Isaac, if you have a fender bender and no one gets hurt, they just turn to the insurance company, but they don't see it.
How about the insurance companies? Do they have statistics? that
How
tell
they-
the
how they-
public
how-
on
how they identify
losses
that?
specifically in that area?
There's so many insurance groups that I wouldn't know who to reach out to gather the data.
On personal lines, they have a clearinghouse for losses. There's a clearinghouse, so they could probably go to a central database, maybe omitting the actual names and addresses, but there might be a way of accessing that data.
Well, let me figure out where Caltrans is pulling their data from, and then kind of commingle and see what else there is to reach out and get to.
Just in case they're giving you that as an objection, there might be a way to overcome that objection and get the data on that intersection in terms of if you're looking for if we need that data for funding purposes.
Oh,
okay. One other thing that I'd like you aware of is the DOF now has our PSA, our purchase sale agreement for the maintenance facility. So that's currently on a clock at the moment. So we'll keep you updated as that goes forward. The finance department, we're looking to start our audit. So our letters of intent will start going out. So we're hoping to wrap that up by the end of the fiscal year. We have put out some positions, the associate planner position. We are looking to bring in a full-time planner. one thing that we've learned going through this process and having kind of an interim sitting in the position for a couple of days and things of that nature. One thing that you can see from our city is the growth is amazing out there. I mean, you see are constantly having open houses and things of that nature because the turn and the development is going forward. So it's really important that we actually get a full-time developer within that position. So we're looking to open, that is currently open and it will close on October 12th. Also, we're looking to fill a building inspector position. Dan Reese is now starting to look into retirement and looking to retire towards the end of this calendar year. So that's coming up. So we've already put that out to just to hope and get some transition phase out of there. SB1 is required reporting that has been filed in the expenditure report. Although we haven't expended the funds, you still need to report to them that you haven't done anything, which is kind of funny. But also, we're looking into the opportunity analysis kickoff meeting, which just started, which is a study that's being funded by the Board of Supervisors to do analysis on the 99 corridor and also the 180 in Sanger. So I'll keep you up to date on how that study goes and how it works and give you the nuts and bolts as we go along. At this point, that's all I have.
How long does the DOF have to review that?
I'll let the city attorney speak to that.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, DOF has 65 days.
And when did
Well,
they receive it?
The 5 days has already passed, correct, Isaac?
They just told me they submitted it last week and give me an exact date.
Okay, so if there's 5 days that pass and they don't say that they're going to review it, then it's approved. After within the 5 days, if they decide to call it up for review, they have an additional 60 days to review it. So hopefully once those 5 days pass, they won't.
So no news is good news.
So it hasn't been 5 days yet, but it's getting close.
He didn't give me the exact date when he submitted it. He just apologized for the lateness and said it got submitted last week. So I can get a different answer.
How do they have to inform you? Email or letter?
They usually send an email with the letter attached to that email.
Okay.
5 business days?
Yes, 5 business days.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, well, since I got you there, anything else?
No, Mr. Mayor, nothing to
Okay,
report.
thank you. Okay, we'll go to the, Shane, you're quiet, you're next.
Not a whole lot to report from Public Works this go around, just continue with our day-to-day, plugging away. One thing we are getting ready for is the band festival, that's kind of a big deal for us, so we're gearing up for that. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Just nothing?
Word is the first rain's coming over the next couple of days, so drive extra careful, the roads will be slick, and you'll be surprised if your power goes out.
Oh, okay, get ready, right?
It tends to happen when the dusty lines get wet and respond to lines down and transformer fires for 4 or 5 hours.
We're supposed to have rain Thursday, am I correct?
My understanding was the next 48 hours.
Oh, 48 hours? Okay.
Tuesday and a Wednesday, so.
All right. All right. Chief Gardner?
Mayor and members of the council, you read in your council package our crime rate continues to stay low. Over the last month, we are still averaging less than 2 reported crimes a day. You also saw in the package that something was mentioned by one of our members of the public. We had our last event in the Bringing Broken Neighborhoods Back to Life series, the March for Jesus that occurred at Valley Life Church. Over 1,000 people attended. That was very well attended. A great event. You also saw in the status report, I hope you took note, that due to the last 2 positions being filled through conditional offers of employment last week, our sworn staffing levels are now full for the first time in the 5 years that I've been here. So that's good news, to say the least. So, that's it from the police department.
Chief, can I ask a question?
Certainly.
How many patrols are assigned to shift total?
How many people are assigned to the patrol division?
Yeah, how many people are part of the patrol?
4 sergeants. Their positions are currently.
No, people go out on the street, patrol officers?
I think it means like on a daily shift, how many officers on one shift and things of that nature. Is that what you're?
Per day?
There are 5 people assigned to each shift. They're not all out every day. Minimum staffing for each shift is 3 plus a sergeant.
Okay, so
4.
are there 18 on shift right now total? 18 officers, or are there 21 right now? Is that fully
As we
staffed?
speak?
Right now.
No,
Right now.
there's 1 sergeant and 4 officers, I think, that are working right now. We run 2 shifts a day, 2 12-hour shifts. One starts at 6 a.m., the other starts at 6 p.m. They're staffed by a sergeant and as many as 5, a minimum of 3.
Okay. And how many of those officers have trainees working with them right now?
We have 4 people in training as we speak.
Can the trainees actually go out by themselves and go on the streets?
No, we need to train them first before they can.
Okay, so you wouldn't consider them actual officers on the street then at this
No,
point?
they're out with another officer. They're working on the street, but they're not working solo
But
yet.
they wouldn't be counted as solo, able to go
Not
out and
until they
be a
finish their
patrol
training.
on shift. Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Mike? Good.
Just 2 things. One, had a good meeting with Townsend Public Affairs last week. So we're going to be following up on all the grants and keep you guys informed. And also contacted by Selma Elderly Apartments, a gentleman, and working through the ownership of Selma Elderly on Wright Street and Moses. We're going to get a transit bus stop there. It's pretty well used for transit and
that's great.
providing some shade. And they're going to allow us to do a little easement on their grass area, and it'll look the same kind of like on Lee Bar and the one right out front. So thank Public Works for doing the SEMA work eventually, and for Moses for getting this taken care of too.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, we'll go to council reports.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, I apologize. Mike reminded me of something. We just were
Okay.
notified today from Alcoholic Beverage Control, receipt of an $18,000 grant to allow us to work alcohol-related offenses, shoulder taps, businesses selling to minors over the next year. So,
Good,
yeah.
very good. Chief Gardner, no, since that you brought up, I brought something else. Are we still having the operational community sweeps in all our communities? You know, are we still having that program?
we
Continue
actually
on
have,
the
some,
base.
we
Let's
have
put that.
something planned.
Okay,
I'm not
that's
going
all I
to
need
speak
to
about
know.
the specific date, but
No, I don't need a
yeah.
damn date. Well, I don't need to know. Okay.
Yes, we do. And
Okay.
along those lines, we're also doing, continuing our curfew sweeps and our Operation Stay in School truancy sweeps as well.
Because, you know, it's working. You gotta make, you know, we gotta stay on top of it. It's working. Okay. Back to that, council report, I'm sorry, Yvette, you're on.
Oh,
Ladies
well,
first.
what I wanted to share with everyone was, I did attend, the school district meeting where they had a discussion where regarding our ATP grant that we have for Roosevelt School and Floral Avenue. That was interesting, and, I'll update you when, Isaac sees that fit to discuss. And I just want to pass around a thank you that we received from the second graders at Jackson School. Kind of gives you guys an idea of what we did, Ms. Reyna and I. And I'll pass out a few of their thank you.
Do pictures. They do pictures, huh?
Great group of kids. And I will be at Eric White School this Friday, providing some words of encouragement. Believe the school is having a school-wide election, and we'll be there to give them some motivation and doing their civic duty.
Anything, thank you, Yvette.
That'll be it.
Franco.
No, I have nothing to report, but I do want to mention that the community of Selma lost an original member, Ham Caceres. If you have the pleasure of knowing Ham, and I'm sure all of us have met him, you could say he's one in a million. He's a very original type, excuse me, person. So he passed away last week, and it's a great loss for our community. So our condolences to his family, and that's all I have.
Okay, Mike?
I made the mixer at the Art Center, which was a nice event. I spent 4 days last week in Las Vegas. We had a nice time through my company. I had a question though. The building down on Whitson that they're building, or that they started building about 2 years ago and still haven't made progress on
You mean American Tile? Tire company.
Tire shop.
Yeah.
Where are we on that, and why are we there?
Oh.
I'll take an answer from anybody.
Okay, Mike, let me answer that.
Sure, you have an answer?
Yeah, I actually had, I questioned that too, believe it or not. And, I guess, well, what happened was, when they started, I guess the people that started working on it, decided to leave. Okay? Then they got other people on it. And I guess they don't like it and they left. Now we're down to 3 now. I think the 3 now, I think Isaac.
Well, some of the information I've been gathering, they had an initial contractor. That contractor made some errors.
yeah,
and kind of prolonged drug the project out a little bit more, and they had to get some new individuals back in there. And they kind of just, this organization itself kind of moves around. They're a moving target. So they'll jump from one side to another, and that's kind of what's been prolonging this project altogether. We actually had to poke and prod them to get them to say, okay, if you don't come and start doing something at this point, we're going to remove your permits and you're going to start again. So that kind of prodded them to get them to the point where they are today. There has been some activity out there. They are moving forward. We don't have a projected time frame as far as their completion, but we are seeing activity out there, which is.
Does the tire company own the building, or will they own the building when it's finished?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay, so
It's American
owner
Tire Depot.
occupant type of thing.
Correct.
Thank you, Isaac.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's one of the longest projects I've ever seen. Yeah.
No, they were working on it today. I got by there.
Yes.
They're actually working on it.
Well, that's interesting that you mentioned that. Just as a little aside, we're on 2 construction projects right now. And what we have found in each instance is the projects are taking forever because they're having a lot of trouble with subs. They're starting a project and then there's another high demand project, they move, and so it seems, at least in the 2 that we're involved with, it seems as though construction projects are taking a lot longer than normal, just probably due to the shortage of manpower.
Since you brought that up, Yvette, the one that's moving forward, believe it or not, is United Healthcare by Denny's. They're on target. They're going to finish it right on time.
One up in Fowler is also moving.
Yeah, they're moving right on. Whoever's doing that operation, they're actually doing it. They're on target. So I don't know what's going on as far as that, but any case, Scott, you're up.
We heard about the school, Operation Stay in School. I saw something in the paper about the school, how they're losing some funding as a result of kids not going to school. So hopefully the city can help them out with that. I think the budget was something like 80 million last year, and
That's what
expenses were 81 because there was a fine for kids not going to school. So I think hopefully the city can help the school district with that. Again, I just saw that.
The ADA.
Just the average daily attendance from what I saw from Laura Brown's article, there was a problem with the attendance from that, and that sounds good that the city is partnering with the school district to help the school, because it should be. We should be helping the school district. The school district should be helping us because we're all one. We're all going for the same thing here. I attended the State of the County lunch in Fresno, thanks to Waste Management for the invitation to sit at their table. I attended the Chamber of Commerce mixer at Selma Arts Center. I attended the Share the Love event at St. Joseph's Church. Good attendance there. Rose and I cleaned kennels, the shelter on Saturday, which was always a religious experience at the Second Chance Animal Shelter board meeting on Saturday. Andrew Guzman and Dan Stiltz were elected as the president and vice president, respectively. So congratulations to them. Just based on what we heard tonight, tomorrow's forum, are we going to have a police presence tomorrow? We're going to have an officer around here at the City Hall, Chief?
No one's requested one, but we can make arrangements.
I mean, I know we had one at a recent art showing, a recent play. So I think maybe, if they're, just based on what I heard tonight, hopefully we have a police presence just in case.
The play was because of alcohol being served, it was at lunch. That's why the officer was present. The city manager let me have somebody there, I'd be happy to.
Just based on what I heard tonight, it might be a good thing to have.
We'll
to
discuss it with
prevent
Chief
any
tomorrow.
problems before they happen. And best of luck to everyone participating in tomorrow night's forum. Democracy in action. It's going to be, it's what it's all about. I attended COG Thursday night in Fresno, so my report on that is effective October 29th, rural transit is going to increase the fares to go from one city to another. So it's going to go to $3 the first year. It's going to phase in. At first, COG wanted to, the administration brought a $5 increase, and COG talked about it, FCRTA board talked about it and phased it in. So it's going to be $3 for 19, 18, 19, $4 for 19, 20, and then up to $5, and that's the end for 20 to 21. The last topic there, I voted for, enthusiastically supported. I would have, made the motion, but Bob Beck beat me to it from Reedley. Thank goodness for him. There were the item on the agenda was to authorize Moses Stites of the Fresno County Rural Transit Authority to negotiate and make an offer on the parcels surrounding the current transit authority, where the maintenance yard is going to go around Dockery, where the fire department training yard is right now. That's 3 points, roughly 4 acres. What COG voted on, the FCRTA branch of that, was to authorize Moses to bid on 5.5 additional acres, which will give a lot more capacity, and specifically it'll allow the Fresno County Rural Transit to have an infill station, a fast fill station for clean natural gas, and the import of that is all these buses are going to go to CNG before they go electric. I know it's weird. Why don't they just go to electric? But they're not. They're going to go to CNG first, but you need a way to fill them up, and we will be like one of the only areas with a fast fill with that additional acreage that Moses Stites is going to be bidding on to these 3 additional landowners. Plus, it'll give more capacity to bring in higher mechanics who will retool the existing buses to clean natural gas. And I think the Selma Unified School District will be one of the potential customers for that. That's a lot of buses. That's a lot of jobs. Remember, Selma has the contract to operate the Fresno County Rural Transit Authority, that maintenance facility. So we're on it. We're the ones getting the jobs. We're the ones hiring the people. So we get that additional 5.5 acres. It just benefits Selma. And let's hope that Moses can do some good negotiating like he did for the land with the city, and that the city gets that. It'd be a really good benefit for Selma to have that. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Okay. And on my report, yes, Franco, I knew Ham, but actually I didn't know his real name was Henry.
Enrique.
Yep, you're right. And you know how he got his name? No one knows. I found out from his sisters how he got his name. It's kind of bizarre. When he was going to school, the guy was like a little ham, always making the teacher, his classmates laugh. A center of attention. And the teacher, I'm going to call you Ham, and it stuck with him the rest of his life. Can you believe that? But he was a great person. He touched people's lives, and I cannot, he was very, very good, and he was a role model for people in life. That's good. And I also attended the March for Jesus. I did, out there. Franco was there. Franco, you were there.
I was there.
And other people were there too as well. And and also another issue in life, and the city is moving forward in the right direction, and the council, we are, the maintenance facility and everything is moving exactly where we want. Selma is moving in the right position. We're positioning ourselves very good right now. The economic development, housing development, moving forward. Everything is actually we're at the right time, right place, but as a council with the body, we have to push that little push to go forward to make the right decision, and we are moving the right decision, and it's good that Moses is our ally out there. He's always been our ally in the city. It's those special how would I say it? Special people that It's who you know and how to get it done, and it's very vital. Everybody in this council might know somebody. And it's very important that bringing these people that we know together and making it work as a team, and that's what it's about. And what makes it better as a team, the people out there. People are the ones that are they're the big advocates. They want what they want, and we are the advocates for them. You know, we're their voice, and we got to be that way. In life, you vote us in, and you can vote us out, but we got to do your job. We have to speak up for you, as you, what you want as a majority. And it's up here. Sometimes it's kind of like, oh my God, we got to make these tough decisions, but we have to make them. All right, and we make decisions for the better of the city of Selma, and for the residents. And we're doing a great job so far. I think. All can be said, we're moving forward in the right direction. And also, I'm gonna make a special announcement about the fair. Don't worry, Raina, I didn't forget. Okay, we're gonna have opening day on Wednesday at the fair, and all the council people are invited. And October 3rd. October 3rd. At 10 o'clock. And the next day, believe it or not, the day of the horse races, opening day, it's Sanger and Selma. That's the day that cities represent one of the horses that run on day. Hey, this is Selma's horse and Sanger's horse, and I've been privileged to go every year and go there and represent Selma. It's a good event. But all cities are like October 5th is Huron, Orange Cove, Kingsburg on 6th, 7th is Fireball, Mendota, Fresno's the 8th. Don't go on the 9th and 10th because it's dark days. The horses won't run. And Parlier and Kerman is on the 11th, and Clovis is on the 12th, and on 13th is San Joaquin and Kalinga, and 14th is Greeley and Fowler. Those are special events, and cities represent, every city represents the day of the horse. And it's nice to take a picture with the horse and the winning jockey, and we do that. And it's good that we represent the communities. We represent because the fair, Big Fresno Fair is a part of the valley, and everybody comes from around, you know. And the reason why everybody comes around is it's a great tool to meet people and also to see new things that we never seen before, and to see the kids in Selma High School, their arts, FFA, all those kids that participate in the fair.
And the band will be
And
there.
the band will be there. That's right. The band will be there. You know, it's a great event for the whole community in the valley. That we're a part of the valley and we represent the valley, and I like it. It's bringing people together, and that's what it's about. It's who we know and what we know in life. You know, it makes us better. And that's all I got to say. Thank you. Okay, next item is oral communication. At this time, a member of the public can address the city council regarding any item within the jurisdiction of the council. No action will be taken or item not on the agenda, and this will be reserved back to the city manager for review. And a member of the public has 3 minutes. And Robert, you're up. State your name.
Allen, Executive Director of Selma Chamber of Commerce. Couple of announcements. October 17th, we will be having our monthly mixer at RPS Realty downtown, starting at 5. We invite all of you to come. Also, October 20th, the Beautification Committee will be having a work day in the community. We'll be starting at 9 in the morning, and we go to around 12, ending with a luncheon. We have a lot of projects that we anticipate doing that day, so I'd like to see all of you out helping us to beautify the city before the band festival. And then if you know, that will work up a really great appetite and a chance for you to think about dancing. And that night you can go to the Tejano concert. You can come and buy tickets at the Chamber of Commerce. We still have a few. And I think other than the band festival itself, which will be a great event for all of us, I think the month of October is full. So, thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Hey, Robert, on that note, when the band festival comes, can you get us some cars for the city council?
Oh, well, I forgot to talk about that. 2 things, actually. I forgot to remind you, the mayor, that they have changed the race day this year, because they're gonna have the mayor of each city ride the horse
Oh, my good.
in the
Well,
race.
For sure, we're gonna win.
So we're all going to be there to see that. And so,
So is my wife.
and the band festival, do you want a car? You want a truck? What would you like to have
Well, you
this
know,
year?
if
You
get
have
a-
done a variety of things in the
You can get a
past.
car, you know. I don't know what a car feels like. Car?
What's that?
Car.
We wouldn't fit in a car.
Well, I could do two cars.
Oh, two cars?
How about if I do two cars?
Okay.
And one of you can ride twice.
That's all right. That's okay.
No, you want something that all of you can ride together?
If you can, if not,
Limo.
You want me to take care of it? Is that what I
yeah,
hear?
take care of it, Robert.
I will take care of it.
See what you can do.
Okay, we will do that.
All right. Thank you, Robert. I had to ask you right now, Robert, before you speak, you forgot.
1057 Mill Street, Rose Robertson. I just want to say thank you to all the sponsors for the Tejano Country Concert. Bob Allen and Mary are one of them. The sponsors, I want to thank Mike Kishner. He'll be putting up the banner pretty quickly. But I just want to say the sponsorships, if it wasn't for the sponsorships, we wouldn't be having this event. I'd like to just say thank you to all the citizens and a lot of the other people that have been calling. I've been getting calls. It's just been unbelievable, the calls I've been getting and how many tickets they want this year. I already have 3 sponsors for next year. I got 2 bands I'm already negotiating for next year. So I just want to say thank you to all the sponsorships, and you will be seeing your name advertised on the social media and on a nice band and hopefully the advertisement board. So I want to thank everybody who's part of it, and we look forward to a great event. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you. In the closing, you know, I'm gonna. You brought to my attention. You know, guys. You know, I want to look at Isaac. I forgot to ask you. I want to look at as a council report. I want to look at the some items that we need to look at as far as you know, park events. You know, special events taking place, even like fundraisers, public events, that we need to look at the, you know, fee structure and how we mitigate those things without, you know, because really when you're in a political event, you can't put any signs or on government properties or city-owned properties, and but there is some events taking place that there is some criteria there, you know, we have to look at and see how we can navigate those things. Isaac?
Well, the one structure we're looking at right now is the application process, and just to be fair, and what we do is make sure that nobody is able to put up signs and things of that nature, because that's really what you need to do here at this. Stay consistent across the board, not isolate any kind of groups or members or anything like that. So you put it in the application process of what we're going to looking at to make sure that verbiage is in that form, to make sure that nobody across the board puts up signs.
You know, and the other note too is when we do a policy, whatever, when any kind of political things going on, I think we should let all the people in the candidates running for office in our city to have a list of rules. That way they understand them. You know, a lot of times they all don't follow the rules until they. I don't want to call people or have someone go out there. You know, it's not my style, but I wanted for them to understand that, hey, you know, there's things you have to abide by in the city limits, and as far as rules, you know, in the political arena, you know. I don't care who it is, you know, just the fair. I want the opportunity of people in the running for office to be fair. Yeah. Okay, that's what I want, fairness. You know, it's like any sports. You want to be fair about it. You know, and that's all said. Okay, that we're going to actually go into closed session and discuss the following litigation. Litigation Government Code Section 54956.9, one potential case. So we'll be going to be in closed session right now, and we'll be back.